Master of ferocious souls, this feast has been prepared especially for you. Take your time and enjoy. The king of 10,000 ghosts transformed into a supreme, ethereal glow. The glow completely enveloped his body, revealing a form resembling white jade, upon which countless black, wriggling, monstrous insects moved. As they squirmed, they radiated waves of evil energy that sent shivers through the air. At the same time, a crazed laughter spread from within the ethereal light, like a celestial melody. An endless stream of eerie black mist appeared, soon enveloping the entire meditation space of the Master of Ferocious Souls. Humph! The Master of Ferocious Souls let out a cold snort, unmoved, standing tall in the center of the small island, watching the King of 10,000 Ghosts feast. The Master of Ferocious Souls knew well that while the King of 10,000 Ghosts was powerful, his strength was still somewhat lacking compared to his own current state. Now, he had absorbed the origin of the lovesickness heartbreak flame, just one step away from perfectly devouring it. Only then could he ascend to the sacred realm and enter the long-desired path of reincarnation. Boom! The boundless black mist surged like a demon dog emerging from the molten depths of hell. It quickly spread, bringing with it gusts of sinister winds and overwhelming, evil energy. In the blink of an eye, it transformed into a colossal demon dog over 1,000 feet tall, its face twisted and its aura tyrannical. Is this all you've got? The Master of Ferocious Souls sneered, a trace of extreme disdain flashing across his face as he watched the monstrous creature formed from the 1,000-foot evil energy. 10,000 ghost hounds, tear him apart. Seeing the Master of Ferocious Souls unmoved, the King of 10,000 Ghosts finally issued a command to the evil creature. Thud thud. A series of strange sounds echoed as the evil creature's body seemed to turn into a furnace. Black mist roared out again, and its speed increased dramatically, charging toward the Master of Ferocious Souls island with terrifying force. Chaos. Reverse. The Master of Ferocious Souls seemed prepared for this. Under the shadow, his aged hand lifted, and a silver energy spread out instantly. Boom boom boom. The silver spatial power collided with the evil creature, and a series of piercing sounds filled the air, like the clash of metal. Swoosh swoosh. In the next moment, the 1,000-foot evil creature was drawn into a space crack by the silver spatial force, disappearing from sight for the time being. Is this the fluctuation of reincarnation? Seeing how easily the Master of Ferocious Souls neutralized his strongest attack, the King of 10,000 Ghosts in the black mist couldn't help but exclaim in shock. No one knew about the secret dealings and cooperation between the Ghost King realm and the Soul Clan of the Dochi continent. But despite their combined power, they still did not pose a threat to the Master of Ferocious Souls. The King of 10,000 Ghosts had used many resources from the Ghost King realm to come here, intending to hunt the Master of Ferocious Souls and pave the way for his own ascension into the path of reincarnation. But now it was clear. The Master of Ferocious Souls had already touched the edge of reincarnation. While not having truly reached reincarnation, those who had touched it were far beyond the level of a perfect 7-star Docian. At this moment, even with the greedy nature of the King of 10,000 Ghosts, he couldn't help but feel a wave of fear and hesitation. The urge to retreat began to surface. Show me everything you've got. Otherwise, you won't get another chance. Having dealt with the King of 10,000 Ghosts' attack, the Master of Ferocious Souls casually slapped his hand. A black light pattern spread across the void, and suddenly, countless black mist in the space shattered. Like ice meeting fire, utterly crushed. This guy has broken through at such a fast pace. Looks like I truly miscalculated. The King of 10,000 Ghosts, despite being overpowered, couldn't help but smile, still maintaining a harmless expression on his face. The Master of Ferocious Souls was the true ruler of the Ferocious Soul Domain, one of the 3 core regions of the Ghost Realm. But the King of 10,000 Ghosts wasn't any less of a figure. I didn't want to use that thing, but if I hesitate any longer, I might fall into danger, so? After a brief pause, the King of 10,000 Ghosts no longer hid himself. The black mist dissipated, and he stepped out into the open. You're human? The master of ferocious souls couldn't help but be slightly surprised upon seeing the king of 10,000 ghosts reveal his true form for the first time. This plan was never meant to target the king of 10,000 ghosts, but who could have known that he would be drawn here? The king of 10,000 ghosts was one of the most mysterious figures in the ghost realm, his movements unpredictable. Even the master of ferocious souls had never seen him in person before. This is a feast. 10,000 ghosts. 10,000 ghosts bow down. Ferocious soul, this is your sin and your karmic fate. Rustle, rustle. As his words fell, the king of 10,000 ghosts, no one knew where they came from, but these figures that emerged with illusory spiritual bodies had their scarlet eyes fixed firmly on the master of ferocious souls. They seemed as if they wished to devour him alive, clearly harboring deep resentment, as if they had an undeniable connection with him. Ferocious soul, I served you faithfully, enduring countless hardships, yet in the end, you abandoned me and erased my existence. Do you know the feeling of being trusted only to fall into hell in an instant? Master, I gave my all for your eternal reign, yet why did you erase my entire family? Was it just because we happened to leak some information? Hall Master, we demand justice from you. The voices were filled with deep resentment. It seemed that the fall of these tens of thousands of souls and ghostly beings was intricately tied to the master of ferocious souls. Among them were many powerful figures who had followed him through life and death, fighting for the supremacy of the ferocious soul domain. Yet now, they had all perished, only to be reborn in a special form, thanks to the unique powers of the Ghost King realm. Hoo-hoo. You still have a shred of power remaining, so let me tell you this. Power struggles must be accompanied by bloodshed. You were once my most loyal subordinates, but for the sake of the entire ferocious soul domain, I had no choice but to abandon you. In my heart, you will always be my most perfect subordinates. Everything you did was for the ferocious soul domain, but in the end, you could not be recognized by your comrades, and worse, you were hunted down because of it. But I, ferocious soul, swear on my soul power that you will forever remain my most loyal and most powerful subordinates. The ferocious soul domain is proud to have heroes like you, unchanging through the ages. The hoarse voice lost the dignity it once had, and instead, it sounded more like a conversation between brothers, warm yet lacking in formal tone. Master. Upon hearing the words of the master of ferocious souls, the resentment of these tens of thousands of ghostly beings seemed to dissipate, becoming faint. Thud. A sound rang out as a disheveled figure, panicked, spoke from somewhere in space. These beings were the result of the Ghost King realm and Soul Hall's joint search spanning hundreds of years, aimed at using this resentment to obliterate the master of ferocious souls and his wrongdoings. But what the king of 10,000 ghosts had not expected was that such a terrifying attack, such a perfect plan, would be easily thwarted by the master of ferocious souls with just a few words. This is too easy on you. 10,000 ghost furnace, explode for me. Seeing the ghostly figures diminishing, the king of 10,000 ghosts issued an order, igniting the smell of gunpowder, and the space was about to face an unprecedented crisis. The master of ferocious souls had sky-high power, and the place he had chosen for seclusion was filled with many restrictions. But the combined explosion of tens of thousands of ghostly beings, that kind of power, far surpassed what even an 8-star Do Xian could withstand. 10,000 ghost furnace. Blossom. The king of 10,000 ghosts, in a panic, twisted his delicate face, like that of a handsome human, and then roared. He knew he couldn't allow the master of ferocious souls to eliminate the resentment of these tens of thousands of souls so easily, or his own failure would be inevitable. Boom! With the king of 10,000 ghosts' voice, a black flame suddenly appeared in a certain part of the void. It then enveloped all the ghostly beings that had already spread throughout the entire space, as if capturing them. Everything was drawn into the furnace, centered on the black flame. The 10,000 Ghost Furnace was a unique power of the strong in the Ghost King realm. It could gather all the soul power and refine it into a self-exploding furnace, releasing destructive waves comparable to top-tier celestial techniques. The power of celestial techniques had long reached a level capable of threatening 7-star or even 8-star experts, and the most powerful celestial techniques could erase a true 8-star Dou-Xian warrior. Even the master of ferocious souls could only temporarily retreat before such power. Hoo-hoo. The evil furnace, made of black flames, was about the size of a few meters, but it exuded an incredibly mysterious and evil aura. From the outside, it appeared indestructible. Each time it absorbed a ghostly being, the dark, sinister runes on the furnace would deepen. Once these runes illuminated fully, even a perfect 8-star Dou-Xian would likely fall, as that level of power could shake the heavens and earth. You have indeed stirred up many past memories for me. In return, I will show you what a true feast looks like. Generals, your efforts and sacrifices will not be in vain this time. Reincarnation. The dominant, rebellious aura erupted from the mouth of the master of ferocious souls. Moments later, his body slowly began to rise off the small island, floating upward. Instead of being enveloped in the usual eerie, ghostly energy, a soft pinkish glow surrounded him, like a group of playful spirits gathered around their king. It seemed as though they were cheering for his triumphant return. No, it's impossible. Explode now. The king of 10,000 ghosts howled in fury, as though he had witnessed something terrifying. These spirits had deep connections with the master of ferocious souls. However, they were originally dead souls, brought back to life by some of the king of 10,000 ghosts' special methods. Their strength had long since dwindled to almost nothing. If not for their deep resentment toward the master of ferocious souls, they wouldn't have survived. But now, with a mere word from him, that resentment vanished without a trace. Even as they watched the master of ferocious souls, whose powers were evolving as he prepared to devour the sacred flame, these spirits seemed to lean toward aiding him, an unnerving, almost treacherous inclination that threw the king of 10,000 ghosts into a state of confusion. Boom! Within moments, the dazzling black flame furnace was fully formed. Countless ghostly powers merged and refined into it. At this moment, the furnace was only the size of a palm, but it emitted a chilling, terrifying aura. It was surrounded by an invisible force, and even the void itself seemed to collapse under its pressure. Its power was equivalent to a peak-level celestial technique. If it were to explode here in this place of seclusion, not only the heart of the desert, but even the entire Western Divine Palace would be affected. Master of ferocious souls, die! The king of 10,000 ghosts, no longer hesitating, raised his hand. The brilliant black flame furnace, radiating an evil aura, was hurled straight toward the master of ferocious souls. Like a falling meteor, the force and presence of the strike caused one's pupils to constrict involuntarily. Boom! A deafening roar echoed across the void as the black flame furnace, like a vicious beast, rushed toward the master of ferocious souls, howling in fury. King of 10,000 ghosts, stop struggling. Today is the day I break through. Stay and witness the birth of the ultimate power. The master of ferocious souls said with a soft smile, his voice gentle, yet carrying an aura of awe-inspiring authority. I'll see how you can resist this strike. The king of 10,000 ghosts retorted, unwilling to give up. Although the master of ferocious souls had weakened the power of the black flame furnace, it still held the potential for destruction in its core. Heartbreak flame, the power of longing. The master of ferocious souls' brow twitched slightly. As he spoke, a series of pink ripples emerged beneath his feet, gradually filling the entire void with energy. As soon as the pink energy of longing appeared, it became like a viscous liquid, wrapping around the black flame furnace and immobilizing it completely. The power of the sacred flame? How is this possible? The king of 10,000 ghosts looked in disbelief as the pink energy ripples expanded. An air of solemnity filled the void. When he saw the black flame furnace, which contained the power of thousands of ghosts, being utterly powerless, his face grew grim. Without hesitation or doubt, the king of 10,000 ghosts realized that this time, he would return empty-handed. Due to his own nature, the master of ferocious souls could only exist as a pure soul body, unable to form a human physical form. However, this also meant that he could only devour sacred flames that ghosts could consume. But the Heartbreak Flame was beyond this category. The Master of Ferocious Souls had already reached the peak of the 8-star Do Xian level, recognized as the most powerful in the Great Thousand Worlds. Once he mastered a sacred flame, his strength would undergo a tremendous qualitative leap. Moments later, the black flame furnace and the pink energy gently flew toward the Master of Ferocious Souls' body. It was clear they intended to be consumed by him as nourishment for his ascension. This is bad. Seeing the cunning Master of Ferocious Souls, the King of 10,000 Ghosts finally lost his voice in shock. Only now did he realize he had been completely outmaneuvered. What seemed like a smooth process of devouring and evolving was all part of the Master of Ferocious Souls' plan. Before long, the battle between the two became a foregone conclusion. The King of 10,000 Ghosts was easily subdued by the Master of Ferocious Souls. However, the Master of Ferocious Souls had no intention of killing him, instead leaving him by the side while he began devouring the sacred flame. The King of 10,000 Ghosts always felt that he wasn't the only one being set up this time. But when he thought about how, in order to avoid revealing himself, he had used Hun Mie Tian to enter here, and even sacrificed so much, only to end up as a mere pawn for the Master of Ferocious Souls, he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of discomfort. This is the Master of Ferocious Souls' meditation ground. Be careful. Xiao Yin and Xun'er arrived together just as the battle between the Master of Ferocious Souls and the King of 10,000 Ghosts ended. The true main event was about to unfold. What a terrifying space. After breaking through the northernmost godly palace in the heart of the desert, Xiao Yin entered the meditation ground of the Master of Ferocious Souls. He looked at the dark, gloomy walls and corridors around him, and a wave of fear surged in his heart. The void here was filled with an extremely terrifying sealing power, causing Xiao Yan's flame power to stir with traces of fear. It seems the Master of Ferocious Souls is very cautious. He split his aura into 4 parts and distributed them across the 4 godly palaces in the desert. If it weren't for your sacred flame, we would have wasted a lot of time, Xun'er said, her beautiful eyes scanning the dark walls. The entrance to the northernmost godly palace was quite strange. It was only when Xiao Yin used the power of the sacred flame that he managed to break through. However, there was no significant difference inside. Just a dark, square passage that seemed to lead deep into the heart of the palace. Xiao Yin and Xun'er's figures were extremely cautious as they proceeded inward. Don't speak. Be careful. The aura of the Master of Ferocious Souls and the sacred flame is even more overwhelming now, Xiao Yin said, his body enveloped in a faint gray flame, cautiously making his way deeper into the palace. If we fail this time, we'll die. But at least it will be worth it for the chance to have known you, Xun'er whispered with a faint smile after seeing Xiao Yan's serious expression. She followed closely behind, her heart set on the certainty of death upon entering. Xiao Yin was right. Xun'er indeed had something on her that could either attract or threaten the Master of Ferocious Souls. The two of them were vigilant, moving cautiously for several dozen minutes before an enormous, shocking void slowly appeared before them. This should be the Master of Ferocious Souls' meditation ground, Xiao Yin said seriously, gazing at the eerie void before him. The space before them seemed endless, and above it, countless red crystals were scattered, creating a dazzling and overwhelming sight. The red crystals blocked most of the flame power, weakening the combat effectiveness of fire attribute experts in this area. Is this flame-devouring crystal? After a moment, Xiao Yin furrowed his brow as he stared at the vast number of flame-devouring crystals. The sheer quantity of them would be highly disadvantageous to his fighting ability. Flame-devouring crystals were meant to absorb flame power. In this space, fighting would significantly diminish Xiao Yan's combat strength. The space here is sealed. Only entry, no exit. Xun'er's beautiful eyes pierced through the countless red crystals as she gazed at the center, while the passage behind them also closed off completely, leaving no retreat. There, a pink energy aura completely enveloped the center, exuding an overwhelming, almost divine aura that spread out imperceptibly. Ying, bless me, Xiao chuckled and placed his hand over his chest, warmth radiating out from him, even trembling. Clearly, even the sacred flame heart, transformed from Mu Yingying, was trying to stop him from proceeding. For the power within was something Xiao could not contend with. Let's go. Xiao laughed off the tension, already having made his decision. His powerful spiritual perception made it clear to him that the pink aura at the center of this space was the Heartbreak Flame's power, and within it was a being so powerful that it could rival the heavens. Without needing any further thought, Xiao knew that this was the master of Ferocious Soul's meditation ground, and the mighty presence within the pink aura could only belong to him. The space here was vast, and within the countless red flame-devouring crystals, Xiao could sense that they contained streams of pink liquid, clearly having absorbed countless sacred flame powers. At the center of the space, there was a small, mysterious lake. The lake was only several hundred meters in size, but the liquid within was strangely black, exuding a chilling coldness as if it harbored a suffocating, eerie power. He's in there. Why don't you just give up? The two stood before the lake, and Xun'er didn't forget to ask. The master of Ferocious Souls is strong, but I don't know where my confidence comes from. I believe that in the future, I will definitely surpass him. Moreover, this time, it's not just for me. It's for the girl who has been waiting for so long and deserves an answer. I've let her down too many times, and I hope this time, I can make up for all the debt I've caused her. Xiao didn't know why Xun'er seemed like a different person after entering this place. But by the time he finished speaking, the image of that playful girl with blue hair flashed in his mind, and a faint sorrow surged in his chest. When he first met Mu Yingying, Xiao knew that at that time, he wouldn't exactly call it love for her, but it was definitely not indifference or just friendship. However, after Mu Yingying's sacrifice, Xiao realized that it was more than just love. It was a responsibility, a duty. Xiao stood lightly on the flame crystal, his gaze cold as he looked at the black lake. Suddenly, he raised his hand, and a flame palm print roared toward it. Chi-chi. A strange sound emerged from the lake, but Xiao fiery attack was instantly extinguished, as if a moth flying into the flame. To think that Xiao was using undying fire. Yet the power of undying fire was so ineffective in this black lake. This forced Xiao to become more serious. This is the Forbidden Lake. The water has a mysterious power that isolates all life forces. If you want to enter, you can only do so in a near-death state or in a purely spiritual form. Xun'er spoke as she observed Xiao reaction. Since that's the case, let's proceed. I'm curious to see how impressive the master of Ferocious Soul's path of devouring is. As soon as the words left his mouth, Xiao surroundings were engulfed by three-colored sacred flames, covering his life force completely, making him appear as though he were about to die. Let's go. They exchanged a glance, then immediately plunged into the Forbidden Lake. Bang, bang, bang. As they entered the Forbidden Lake, a bone-chilling cold spread throughout Xiao body, causing him to shiver uncontrollably. As they swam further, Xiao heart suddenly contracted, as if struck by a deadly force. Resist it. Realizing the eerie power of the Forbidden Lake, Xiao unleashed an overwhelming surge of flame power to counter it. Both of them gritted their teeth and moved forward step by step toward a small island within the lake. This is the master of Ferocious Soul's retreat? A few minutes later, they passed through the barriers of the Forbidden Lake and reached an island enveloped in a pink halo. Upon entering, Xiao and Xun'er stood at the edge. The island was shaped like a massive pentagram, and at its center, a beautifully adorned sedan chair, wrapped in numerous intricate patterns, came into view. Besides that, on some rocks, a young man, whose appearance resembled that of a human, was fixed in place by a pink energy shackles. Is this the king of 10,000 ghosts from the Ghost King realm? Xun'er gasped when she saw the young man tightly bound. He was surrounded by surging black mist, and his cold, aloof eyes were fixed on the center of the island, his dim pupils filled with madness. Despite being bound by the pink shackles, the aura emanating from him suggested that he was also at 8-star Do Xian, king of 10,000 ghosts from the Ghost King realm? 8-star Do Xian, master of Soul Hall? Xiao didn't focus on the strange pink light in the sky. His gaze was locked on the strange man bound before him, stunned. From the information Xiao had gathered, the Ghost King realm and the Soul Clan had an inseparable relationship, or even an alliance. If they could find the ruler of the Ghost King realm, the king of 10,000 ghosts, they might be able to uncover some secrets about Xiao. The secrets of the Xiao clan. This issue had troubled Xiao for decades. Moreover, a mere Soul Hall disciple like Xun'er couldn't possibly know the supreme ruler of the Ghost King realm. So, this must be their conspiracy to capture him. Thinking of this, Xiao couldn't help but grow more wary of Xun'er. Russell. Descendants of Xiao. I can already smell that disgusting inferior aura from miles away. Sure enough, you're still as repulsive as ever. It seemed that the king of 10,000 ghosts had noticed Xiao presence. With a mocking laugh, he roared toward Xiao from afar. Countless eerie black mists surged out from beneath his black robe, rising like smoke and shooting toward Xiao. Feeling the overwhelming aura emanating from the king of 10,000 ghosts, Xiao expression finally grew serious. A casual strike from a powerful 8-star Do Xian like him could, if one is not careful, easily reduce Xiao to ashes. Chi. A strange black mist collided directly with Xiao tricolored sacred flame, and the two forces stalemated for a moment, before Xiao was forced to retreat dozens of steps, the confrontation finally settling down. To think that the king of 10,000 ghosts from the Ghost King realm would fall into such a sorry state. Truly laughable. Steadying himself, Xiao clenched his fist tightly, trying to calm his breath as he walked towards the king of 10,000 ghosts. Heh, kid. Give it up? The answers you're looking for can only be found by you. The king of 10,000 ghosts sneered, his gaze now moving away from Xiao, suddenly lifting to look at the space above, his eyes filled with terror. On Xiao body, 3 colors of sacred flame swirled, forming a protective barrier. Xiao temporarily abandoned the king of 10,000 ghosts, his gaze lifting to the conspicuous pink light sphere in the sky. Considering his familiarity with the king of 10,000 ghosts and Xun'er, and after a brief evaluation, he knew that the sacred flame was more urgent. The pink light sphere hung high in the sky like a brilliant sun, exuding a pressure that seemed to overwhelm the very heavens and earth. Heartbreak flame is within that pink light sphere. It seems we've come too late. The master of Ferocious souls has already reached the final step, Xiao said with a sigh, after investigating. Even with the protection of the 10 halls of Yama's guardian power and the support of various sacred flames, Xiao could not break through the pink light sphere formed by the master of Ferocious souls and Heartbreak flame. It seems we can only wait now, Xiao said, shaking his head again. Breaking the pink light sphere recklessly could result in severe backlash, and Xiao was uncertain of the master of Ferocious soul's current state, leaving him at a loss for what to do. It seems we were too late, Xun'er said, agreeing with Xiao, her dark eyes sweeping the area. The countless flames swallowing crystals inside the sphere dimmed, and even the intricate patterns on the ornate palanquin grew faint. Clearly, the master of Ferocious souls had already entered a critical phase. King of 10,000 ghosts, what is this? Xun'er slowly approached the restrained king of 10,000 ghosts and asked, direct disciple of the Soul Hall's dean? The king of 10,000 ghosts smiled faintly, unperturbed by the question. Soul Mist was his trademark, a title he had used in discussions with the dean of the Soul Hall. It was no surprise that Xun'er recognized the true identity of the king of 10,000 ghosts. How did you? Xun'er asked again. All of this was planned by your master. He gave us detailed maps and entry methods to stop the master of Ferocious souls from breaking through. The price was the research on the method of soul beast devouring sacred flame, but I underestimated him, and in the end, I failed. The king of 10,000 ghosts sneered, his voice still carrying an air of defiance. The master of Ferocious soul's power. Now, he's probably on the verge of touching reincarnation. Even if he fails this time, his strength has truly reached the threshold of reincarnation. So this time, he succeeded. After a brief pause, as they looked at the increasingly radiant pink light sphere in the sky, A terrifying pressure beyond the heavens and earth began to spread, as if an unparalleled holy being was about to descend. Yes, this time he succeeded, but I am still here. Xun'er smiled involuntarily as she listened to the king of 10,000 ghosts. Reincarnation? What of it? His breakthrough was ultimately based on the research from the Soul Hall, and when the research succeeded, nearly all of the Soul Hall's strongest were wiped out. But the Master of Ferocious Souls had forgotten that extreme actions often lead to counter-effects. The method of Soul Beast devouring sacred flame was an act against the heavens, so her master had secretly left a contingency plan, making it possible to counter this. Forget it. Watching Xun'er and the King of 10,000 Ghosts, Xiao gave up asking any further questions. His gaze shifted back to the pink light sphere. At this moment, the entire space seemed to tremble as if a long-dormant heart had suddenly begun to beat powerfully, filling the area with an overwhelming sense of unease. Not good. This guy. The King of 10,000 Ghosts, whoosh. Waves of pink energy rippled outward, erupting from the edge of the pink light cluster like a volcanic eruption. Did he succeed? Watching this shocking scene, Xun'er's lips became dry, and a pressure like that of a superior being spread through the air, as if the ruler of the heavens, before she hesitantly spoke. No. The Master of Ferocious Souls' breakthrough failed. Despite seeing this, Xiao expression was filled with an inexplicable restlessness, his gaze tightly fixed on the pink halo. As the terrifying energy ripples dissipated, the illusory soul body of the Master of Ferocious Souls came into view, and a delicate pink flame lightly danced on his illusory hand. Xiao, I've been waiting for you, said the Master of Ferocious Souls, his tone not showing any displeasure as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, a manic smile shining like a devil fallen into the abyss. You madman, you still failed in the end. Swoosh. At that moment, watching the Master of Ferocious Souls floating above, Wang couldn't help but smile. As an 8-star Dou expert, Wang could clearly sense that the Master of Ferocious Souls' body was severely injured, even riddled with holes, his aura and strength greatly diminished. This wasn't a sign of a successful breakthrough, but rather the aftereffects of a failed one. In the reincarnation realm, one must face the reincarnation tribulation. The reincarnation tribulation was tailored to one's own strength, vastly different from the Dou tribulation. Yes, I failed. Even though I mastered that method, the path of reincarnation stands at the peak of the great thousand worlds. How could it be so easy to step onto? Hearing Wang's cold laugh, the Master of Ferocious Souls smiled self-mockingly, yet without any anger, his heart extremely calm. Wait, the aura in this guy's body doesn't seem like a failed breakthrough. It's more like, what is going on with this guy? At that moment, seeing the Master of Ferocious Souls, weak and even reduced to the 7-star Dou stage, Xun'er's expression turned serious. The Master of Ferocious Souls' current state seemed identical to the method she had for dealing with him, but that method was known only to herself and her teacher. How could the Master of Ferocious Souls know? No, this is definitely a coincidence. The Master of Ferocious Souls just failed his breakthrough and is about to fall. It seems like you really want to see me, Xiao said, not paying attention to Xun'er's odd behavior, his voice calm and carefree. As long as the Master of Ferocious Souls hasn't broken through to reincarnation, Xiao would not be in a life-or-death situation. Furthermore, the lovesickness heartbreak flame was still preserved intact, which was perfect for Xiao. Xiao, descendant of the Xiao clan, bearing the Xiao clan's bloodline and many sacred flames. I noticed you the moment you entered the ghost realm, but back then, those stubborn fools from the 5 great academies supported you, and I never had a chance to act. Now you've thrown yourself into my trap. It's truly laughable. If those fools knew, they would probably regret supporting you. The Master of Ferocious Souls moved lightly, walking through the air toward Xiao, step by step, toward the flame-swallowing crystal. No need to pretend. I know everything you're doing is just to force me to reveal myself. I also know that this time, the lovesickness heartbreak flame isn't what you need to break through to reincarnation. There's something else you need for that. Xiao smiled, not the least bit panicked, but instead extremely composed. Those who are too smart often don't live to the end. Hearing Xiao Yan's words, the master of Ferocious Soul's expression shifted, a look of surprise crossing his face. Clearly, the trap he had so carefully set had been seen through by Xiao Yan, something he had never expected. Ever since entering the outer region of the Elder Council, and even when I entered the Western Divine Palace, I felt something was off. The journey has been too easy. Then, just now, the weakness you showed after failing your breakthrough, and my sensing of the sacred flames. The lovesickness heartbreak flame should be in its most complete state, and you, Master of Ferocious Souls, have no right or ability to devour the sacred flame. After a pause, Xiao Yan spoke as if victory was certain, smiling. So it was discovered. No wonder you're the Xiao clan's descendant. But I'm curious, knowing this is a trap, why did you still come here? The Master of Ferocious Soul's illusory soul body emitted a domineering aura. Perhaps it's my fate, Xiao Yan responded with a smile. What trump card do you possess that allows you to walk away unscathed from the Master of Ferocious Souls, who holds the power to touch the reincarnation? At this moment, the ruler's aura expanded unmistakably, even exuding the aura of an interrogator from a higher plane, directly striking at Xiao Yan's soul. Make your move. Let me see what kind of strength the Master of Ferocious Souls truly possesses. Ignoring the provocation of the Master of Ferocious Souls, Xiao Yan roared. He knew that this battle was unavoidable, and he also knew that he would be walking a fine line between life and death. However, as long as there was even a sliver of hope, Xiao Yan would not give up. Flame-swallowing technique, Dragon God transformation, Battle Soul, 3 sacred flames. In an instant, Xiao Yan's body was first enveloped by the undying fire domain to prevent the Master of Ferocious Souls from erasing him. His power surged once again, and his physical strength and arm exploded with terrifying force, like a giant dragon awakening. His battle soul was more alert than ever, releasing a chilling aura as it watched the Master of Ferocious Souls. Xiao Yan, all of this has been prepared for you. And my path of reincarnation begins with you. Helping me break through reincarnation will be your great honor, and as payment, I will ensure that your name, Xiao Yan, is remembered across countless planes in the entire Ferocious Soul domain. Your glory will shine for all eternity, never to be extinguished. Therefore, come to me. Waves of spatial force, like the hand of death itself, filled the air around Xiao Yan. A sense of dread swept through his heart, and the feeling of death's approach began to engulf him. Whum! A mournful wail uncontrollably trembled from Xiao Yan's chest. The sensation seemed to be pleading with him, urging him to leave, that this place was no longer safe. Don't worry, this heart is one that you painstakingly rebuilt for me. I won't die again. Feeling the tremors from the sacred flame heart, which had been remade by Mu Yingying, Xiao Yan gently touched it and comforted. Judgment. The Master of Ferocious Souls remained unmoved. As a mighty ruler, he naturally sensed the Soul Hall's president's intentions and backup plan. Thus, he did not immediately devour the Heartbreak Flame as planned. Instead, he used the Heartbreak Flame as bait, drawing Xiao Yan in. After all, a person who could possess several sacred flames, if he were to obtain the cultivation method, would make the Master of Ferocious Souls a true reincarnation being. That was the Master of Ferocious Souls' true objective. As for abandoning the undying fire and secretly leaving the Heartbreak Flame, it was to further confirm Xiao Yan's cultivation method. Now, everything was ready. All that was needed was the final step. Once he erased Xiao Yan and took over his body, not only would his own soul body's inability to form a human body be solved, but he would also gain up to 4 sacred flames. At that time, not even the Ghost Realm, much less the Great Thousand Worlds, would be able to stop him. As for Duan Qifei, who was connected to Xiao Yan, although she had already been affected by the power of reincarnation, the 2 Thunder Mountains at the center of the Western Divine Palace were naturally a form of confinement, able to temporarily halt her progress. Even the mysterious 8-star Do Xian guarding Xiao Yan wouldn't pose any threat before the Master of Ferocious Souls. As the Master of Ferocious Souls spoke, every void node in the space lit up with silver light. These lights then converged into an impeccable silver space compass, suspended vertically in the heavens and earth. The silver space compass sealed all of Xiao Yan's retreat routes, like a scythe of death, leaving him without any escape. Seize him. Seeing this, the master of ferocious souls did not hesitate. Using spatial movement, he shot toward Xiao Yan's body before his afterimage had even disappeared, intending to seize Xiao Yan and take control of his body and everything associated with it. At the same time, the silver space compass emitted a deathly shockwave, appearing as a line of deadly rays in Xiao Yan's vision, sealing all his escape routes. Come, let's settle this once and for all. Whether it's heaven or hell, this is the moment of reckoning. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yan's mind suddenly closed off. An ancient pattern silently appeared on his forehead as the master of ferocious soul's soul body entered him. The blood-red pattern shimmered faintly, with faint Brahma sounds echoing, as if a divine presence had descended.